Hi everyone, and welcome to While Ignite. We are so grateful that you're here to join us this evening, taking time away from your family. We know your time is precious, so we're grateful for you spending some time with us. Now we're going to promise you a fabulous event this evening. And to our members, we have a special welcome, of course, and to our guests. Maybe this is the first time you've learned about Young Living. We hope that you learn a lot more this evening. Now stay around to our guests because there's a special something for you at the end. Now, we promised you a fabulous evening, and here we are. We've got amazing guest presenters. We have leader experts, that's leaders in our field here at Young Living, and also an external expert who is a leader in her field. So a fabulous mix of education, new products, and product launches. Just sensational. We know you're going to absolutely love it. Now, something a little bit different that we thought would be fun for us to do with you this evening is we want you to meet the faces behind the scenes. So those are the people that work behind the scenes, bringing products to you, communications to you, the girls here in our team here at Sales Education. You're going to meet them all this evening. Now, Bryony Nash, you're going to hear more about her as well, because at the end of the entire program, you're going to see Bryony on Young Living Business Collective, and you'll learn all about the education over there. So let's get on with the program. Now make sure you stay to the end, because as we've told you before, you know that there's a fabulous little offer in store as a thank you for your time. So grab a pen and paper and note the details, because it's very important you know exactly what to do. And a special something for registrants as a thank you for your time. There's a little gift there, and also for guests, something for you as I promised. So enough about me, enough about this program. How about we get started? And let's start with some fabulous new products that we know you're absolutely going to love. We're not going to tell you, because all will be revealed in this fabulous little video. But after the video, we want you to look out for a very special Young Living leader who will follow to share further information with you. I wonder who it might be. Let's take a look.
The wait is over. Clean Beauty is now available in a liquid foundation, formulated just for you with skin-loving, clean ingredients. A lightweight, hydrating foundation that's rich in pigment for building medium to full coverage. Self-smoothing plant-based polymers condition and build a mesh-like protective layer, boost moisture, and create a smooth finish. All while using authentic, pure ingredients, including ethically mined mica for a glowy, luminous finish. And Young Living's Royal Hawaiian Sandalwood Essential Oil, which promotes youthful-looking skin. This creamy, weightless formula with avocado and sunflower seed oils glides on seamlessly for long-lasting wear.
Well, thank you for that introduction. How awesome was that video? Well, I'm super thrilled to be here and introduce you to the latest in clean beauty technology as we roll out the wonderful liquid foundation. Are you excited, Australia, New Zealand? Because I am. Let's get started. So what's clean beauty and our standards? Well, makeup that's been formulated without all the nasties. So we're talking about things like formaldehyde and talc, synthetic fragrances, phthalates, and all those nasty parabens out there. So whether you're an ivory or an ebony, we have a beautiful foundation to suit you. So what are foundations? Well, foundations basically are the base of your entire makeup range. They're the canvas. They're the ones that you want to get right. You want to get the color right, you want to get the texture right, and you want to get the tone right. That will either make or break your foundation look. So what is it that they do? Well, liquid foundations are designed more for the drier skins. As we age, we have less and less moisture in our skin. Especially here in the southern hemisphere, we have a lot of weather that dehydrates our skin. So using a liquid foundation will help smooth that out. Powder foundations are great for those with more oil content in their skin, which will give your skin a more of a matte finish. However, you can create the best of both worlds using both. So let me show you what's in this amazing foundation. So the liquid foundation ticks all the boxes for me. It's clean beauty, which means it's free from any nasties. It's formulated with the best ingredients on the planet, so it's wonderful for my skin. Basically, skincare for my skin. I love the packaging. It's beautiful. It's vegan friendly. And the application is super easy to use every day. Whether you've never wore makeup before or you're a professional makeup artist, you're gonna absolutely love wearing this beautiful formulation every day. So how do we apply this amazing vegan formulated liquid foundation? Well, it's really simple. You can either use your fingertips and do a very light application, very similar to a tinted moisturizer, or you can take it to the next level and do a beautiful glamour and professional look using these wonderful new tools. The full coverage liquid foundation brush with synthetic fibers, or the beautiful latex-free blending sponge. Let me show you how. Let me introduce you to the full coverage liquid foundation brush. This is vegan friendly. It has synthetic fibers that are very tightly packed so that you use less product. I love it doesn't get your fingers dirty, and it gives the skin a beautiful airbrush photo finish look. Great for anyone that loves using makeup. And how do you use this? Well, it's super easy. You can just pump action onto the brush and then gently in circular movements airbrush this wonderful product out through the face. It's a buildable foundation, so you can do from the lightest application to a more heavier full coverage look for glamour or a professional look. I can't wait for you to try it. How cute is this blending sponge? This is a must-have for any beauty bag. Why? Because it has a large surface area for larger areas, and it has a beautiful pointy surface for more precise applications. Hence around the nose, around the inner eye, and underneath. It is wonderful for also achieving an airbrush look to the skin. Super easy to wash. Just pop some foaming hand soap on there, give him a wash every time you use him, and then just pop him on a paper towel to dry. That way you don't start to create any things in your beauty bag. Well, just when you thought I was done, I'm here to introduce the second part of our beautiful clean beauty range, the Savvy Mineral Concealers. I want you to check out this video.
A clean life calls for clean ingredients. Perfect for concealing spots, lightening the appearance of dark areas, and hiding imperfections. Our self-smoothing plant-based polymers hold rich, natural pigments and emollients in place to create a smooth, flawless appearance. With 6 full coverage shades that ditch the cakey look and heavy feel, you can find the color that's right for you and be part of the new standard in clean beauty.
How awesome was that video? Are you excited? Because I am. Having these magical ones in my beauty bag is something that I absolutely love. Why? The lightest of colors are designed to give that optical illusion and lift and lighten under any darkness. They are also designed to cover and conceal any blemishes or unwanted spots to the skin. And also too, a darker color will help create contour and sculpt the face. So you can see you'll want more than one in your beauty bag. So just like the liquid foundation, we use skin-loving ingredients in this formulation. Self-smoothing plant-based polymers to give that beautiful feel to the skin. We also use avocado oil, sunflower seed oil, and essential oils, manuka and tea tree, to give the skin that cleansing property that it deserves. You're going to enjoy using these magical wands every day. Let me show you how. So the 3 ways you can use this wonderful little magic wand is getting the lighter color and gently use underneath the eye area for any darkness you can lift. It's got a wonderful little wand on there, so you can either apply it to your fingertips or the concealer brush that we have available here in Australia and New Zealand. We also can use the same as your skin tone to cover and conceal any spots. You can either use it before or after foundation. There's no right and wrong in when it goes on the skin. And lastly, you can get a darker color to sculpt the skin. You're going to love using this product. So to recap on this beautiful concealer, it is your magical wand of your beauty bag. It's an optical brightener which helps lift and lighten dark circles. It's designed also to cover, conceal blemishes, wonderful for teenagers. And lastly, it's used to sculpt and contour the skin. You're gonna love using these clean beauty ingredients.
Thank you so much, Janae. What a beautiful setup you had today. We love hearing from you and we know that our members do too. So now that we know the benefits of the Savvy Liquid Foundation and Concealer and how we can apply it to get a naturally flawless look using the liquid foundation brush and the blending sponge, I hope you're not savvied out because I have one more treat for you. Introducing the Savvy Face Match Tool. If you're anything like me, I always need help matching my skin tone to my foundation color. With the Savvy Face Match tool, it takes the guesswork out of ordering your foundation, whether that's in the comfort of your own home or when you're out and about sharing Savvy and Young Living with your friends and family. How amazing is that? The awesome news is that this product and the others are available starting tomorrow, March 26th, to all Australian and New Zealand members on standard and essential reward orders. The wholesale prices are as follow. Foundations, 56 Australian dollars and 61.65 New Zealand dollars. The concealer is 46 Australian dollars and 50 New Zealand dollars. The liquid foundation brush is 52.80 Australian dollars and 57.70 New Zealand dollars. The blending sponge is 26.25 Australian dollars and 28.80 New Zealand dollars. And the face match tool is 7 Australian dollars and 7.65 New Zealand dollars. Please keep a note that as these products are new, that they are not yet available to add to any of your ER point redemption orders. And if you're looking for even more information about these amazing foundations and products, including all things product knowledge, how to share it, how to use it, then please head over to our Facebook Why Our Business Collective page using your member number to join, and look out for the magnificent Bryony who's been working closely with some amazing leaders and staff to bring you further detailed education. Now, we know how important it is for us to feel beautiful on the outside, but it is just as important for us to feel beautiful and feel great on the inside as well. There's no doubt that changes in our circumstances, especially those outside of our control, cause stress in our lives and the lives of our family. This next segment, we introduce our very own amazing platinum leader and an award-winning naturopath, sharing her expertise about managing our emotional wellness during these unsure and challenging times. We are so excited to have her. Please welcome Maria Aurora.
I am super excited to be here with you today, and I'm grateful for this opportunity. Now we are going to talk about how to maintain emotional well-being in these challenging times. Now remember, the information today is general in nature. So if there's something in there that jumps up to you and you find that you might need extra support, make sure you reach your preferred health practitioner. So let's dive in and have a look at what is the definition of emotional wellness by the health department, the government department of health. And it is basically, I'm going to just read what they state, that is the emotional wellness is the ability to successfully handle life stresses and adapt to change and difficult times. So it's this ability that we all have to stretch and adjust. So when you have an elastic, correct, you keep stretching a little bit more, adjusting it to wherever it needs to fit. And it's almost the same. The human body's got this amazing resilience and ability to adjust to different situations so we can strive and we can continue being. And it's almost like keeping the boat afloat. And so for this to happen, we are going to be subject to a lot of different triggers and different factors, and we will dive into them soon. But just to be aware, it's going to be an interaction in between your body, so your physiology, how your body works, environmental toxins, aspect with people, and so how they interact and what those people are bringing to you. Are there any triggers coming from there? So we have got a lot of factors when we put it all together. And each person will have a different response based on past experiences and genetics and the way they have held themselves through life. So what is important here is that if you can feel something, you can think, you can feel it, and you can act in a particular way, you're going to have either a positive or a negative outcome. So remember, everything that you're picking up is going to come to your mind, and that is going to create an impression in your subconscious. And how you respond to that is going to give you an outcome. So look at your results, and if you are not in a place that you think you need to be, start looking at where you need to be, and maybe start to understand what are the situations that you might need shifting. Hopefully this will enlighten you a little bit on that. So factors, potential warning signs first. So warning signs, I think that you might start looking at is not happening as it used to be. We cannot use the word here normal, because what is normal? Normal for one is different from the other person, but more or less we got a baseline, and that baseline is what you're used to for yourself or for someone that you love and care, and now is shifting. And that can be in relationship to sleeping habits, sleeping at longer than normal or not sleeping at all, or shorter periods of sleep cycles, or maybe someone that suddenly stopped eating altogether and lost their appetite, or someone who is compensating for this emotional need and overeating, eating too much, or even someone that suddenly becomes socially awkward and doesn't want to mix with anyone, and almost gets into this cave that is almost creating a wall because everything just becomes so much, and that they cannot really handle the extra pressure. So what do? They retrieve to be able to cope. And then we have got other basic things, like, for example, the ability or inability to cope with daily routines. Like it could be, for example, when you have to have a shower and keep hygiene going, brush your teeth, choosing clean clothes, washing things, keeping your space tidy, and ability to maybe have a timetable, a routine. So all those things are going to play a huge role into understanding where you are. Are things shifting? Do you need support, or do you need to reach for support for someone else that you might know? So of course, there's many other potential warning signs. Yeah, these are just some of them. So when we look at factors, we are going to look at stress and hormones. This is one of the most important. We'll dive into that in a minute. We are going to also look at external toxins and xenoestrogens. We are also going to look at nutrition. So this is what is the basics, because if you don't have the building blocks, you cannot respond to things, and how obesity affects this. And then the gut health, we all know gut-brain connection, correct? And then we're going to look at the mindset. So how are you reflecting what you have inside? Is that what you need to do, or you need changes? And finally, how the genetics affect all of this. So let's look closer to stress and hormones. This is my favorite topic, let's put it like that, because I'm surrounded every single day by around 15 to 20 people that come to the clinic for search for answers on this topic. And when you look at it deeper, it's such a profound topic, because not only is going to affect the way how you feel and react to things, how you interact with people, how do you look at yourself, your self-esteem, and even the ability to physically look and have an impression of yourself. So this is very, very important. So let's look at what happens with stress in the body. So when you are under a lot of pressure and stress, what happens? The adrenal gland, that is like this little arm that sits on top of your kidney, on the side of your lower back, what tends to do? They tend to release some hormones that are going to be like messengers passing an information for your body to respond to this. So it's like talking about stretching the elastic. Now, if you think about that, the more the body is pushed, and this can be in any form, it can be an emotional form, like losing someone or having a disappointment, or could be like a physical thing, too much hot, too much cold, or maybe pushing through too much exercising, or not able to sleep for prolonged period of time, so reduce sleep or having night shifts. Or it could be so many other forms of stresses, that deadlines and overthinking even comes in here. But what happens, the adrenal gland, that is part of the hormonal system, will start responding to a message coming from this part of your brain, the hypothalamic axis, and it's going to release hormones. And the more stress you have, the more the release of this. So normally the body first releases adrenaline to kickstart you, and then cortisol to dump this. But in this game, eventually cortisol shoots up. And when cortisol is really high, this is when you're going to start finding that you are not in a coping mode. Imagine if you have a pressure cooker. So the pressure cooker, what happened with the heat will stop buzzing, correct? The steam coming out, and things are at the right temperature. But what happens if you block the valve? That steam will collect internally, and if you don't release it, it's going to eventually explode. And I know because that happened to me once. And it's a mess everywhere, correct? Okay, you don't want that experience. But with your human body, it's the same. It's almost like this is a valve, and it suddenly goes beyond what the body can handle. Then what is going to happen is that it's almost like you're trapping this steam inside. And so how do your body react to that? You become really hasty. You become really quick to respond. You become really sharp. You become really, I wouldn't say aggressive is a word, but impatient and intolerant, because it's almost like your body saying, I can't deal with it anymore. Don't bring me more. I'm up to here, please. And so this is a time that if you start finding that you're getting more rigid and quick to respond, that means the body is saying, hold down, the steam is not coming out. And so you need to pay attention to that. And what happens when here in the clinic, when we see the blood analysis, the red cells are shooting up like crazy, going chum, 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 almost at the speed that you imagine your body's responding to all these stresses. And so what is important in here, though, is the process that shifts you from this high cortisol and what happens to that so your body can keep surviving. And what tends to happen, depending on the genetics, you're either going to have high testosterone or high estrogens or both. And when the estrogens go really high, we need to note here that there's 3 forms of estrogen, not just one. Okay? We all know the beautiful estrogen that makes females curvy during puberty and allows you to have babies. But there are also other forms of estrogens. And these estrogens also play a role. In fact, estrogens in nature, they tend to make more cells, hence why you develop during puberty. And so if you imagine this concept of multiplying cells, you can extrapolate to every different level, like, for example, increasing body weight, because you multiply fat cells, and every fat cells attracts a molecule, 9 molecules of water, by the way. And so you become quite heavy in fluid as well. So there's consequences to this high estrogen, but there are more severe consequences if you think deeper in terms of what happened with multiplying cells, and this is not a desirable effect. So we need to have a good level of breakdown of the estrogen. But when estrogens go really high, we're not only going to find that we might gain weight or have fluid retention, but also that you are going to have other symptoms that they are not desirable, like I just mentioned. And then what tends to happen is that if testosterone goes high, you're going to find that you get a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more strong getting your points, but also you're going to find that you're going to develop all these presentations, like cystic presentations that happen when we have ovaries, cysts, and polycystic ovaries that we call it, or insulin resistance, and a few other problems with hair growth and etc. So you can see there's not a good balance, but what is most important here is how you're going to react emotionally to this. So you can see emotionally, when these hormones are out of balance, the person will start either with an estrogen imbalance going to mood swings and going into a very strong mode, to a weak mode and crying, so this constant oscillation, or a high testosterone quite assertive more than the normal. Okay, but what happens is that the hormones that need to produce all of this is your DHEA. So if DHEA goes into cortisol and this cascade, that's one thing. But if it's not going down to the progesterone cycle of production that it should be as well, we're going to find that females very quickly drop progesterone. And this is one of the things that I find more often at the clinic. And when progesterone drops, guess what happens? You're going to find that you tend to have more feelings of anxiety. And you find that every little thing, you become just so worried about it. And you cannot control it. And this is when people eventually end up running for prescription medication because they find themselves stuck into this problem. Okay, but with a lot of progesterone comes other things as well, like, for example, lack of libido and lack of memory and inability to focus, things that are also related to well-being, mental well-being and emotional well-being. Because if you start finding that you're not functioning correctly, that also can be a matter of extreme anxiety. All right, and then what else do we have? Well, because we talk about 3 estrogen, if one of the estrogens is low and one is high, that requires a little bit more assistance into how to support yourselves. So keep in mind that you might need to reach some help. Now, let's talk about xenoestrogens. We all know xenoestrogens are molecules that mimic estrogens, but they don't do the job. So the receptors on the cell thinks, okay, great, come along, and there's no response or desirable response. And what kind of xenoestrogen we have? Well, we have the synthetic ones, and those are the most dangerous ones, the environmental toxins, because there's a tendency to produce other side effects that we don't want, inclusive of learning disabilities and poor cognitive development and etc. Other areas that we don't want to talk at the moment. But what is important here as well, that phytoestrogens are their natural source plant, like soy plant, also can be a problem. And the reason here I say this is because what happens is when we have got 2 estrogens really high, maybe one low, it might support the low estrogen, the one that is in low levels. But because the total estrogen balance is quite high with the excess of the other 2, it's going to keep increasing the ratio, and that could be quite detrimental. So when you use a natural phytoestrogen, I would really recommend have your levels tested and make sure that you know where you are. Okay, and then finally, we also got something most people are not aware that they call the mycoestrogen, and these are coming from a fungal, from a formation that is quite toxic and can also create a lot of problems in your body. And so make sure that you check for moldy environments. All right, and then we are going to talk now about your nutrition. This is another area that I love because without building blocks, like I said before, nothing works. So what do we need? We need to have happy hormones. And to have happy hormones, we need to have proteins. So to form hormones, we need protein. And also to have neurotransmitters that they also create certain responses to calmness and to feeling happy. Also, we need this protein. So protein is essential. Doesn't need to be animal protein, could be vegetarian protein, but ensure that you are having a certain amount a day according to your weight. Okay, so normally we say 2 to 3 serves a day. It's important not to have great quantities at one time, but have small portions. Okay, the next one is that to allow yourself to have a good active brain and to be rational, you need to have a level of glucose. The brain functions with sugar. And glucose could be a double-edged word because if you think about sugar, we all know that drops your pH, and with the pH we drop minerals and etc. etc. It's not a good way to have. It's not good to have a low pH. But in saying that, it's very important that the brain have the glucose. Otherwise, you're going to become erratic. You're not going to be able to focus. You're going to become angry. Actually, a hungry man is an angry man, correct? Because there's no glucose there. There's no food. There's no ability even for the brain to become rational and calm. So it's really important here to remember that when we talk about sugars, we're talking about complex carbohydrates. Complex carbohydrates have fiber, and they release this sugar in small amounts, and it causes good effects on the body. Yeah, even for your sugar regulation. So things like sweet potato, pumpkin, carrots, all the root vegetables, they're really, really good. Your beetroot, and etc. Now, what else is important here? That the fiber is very important as well, because acts as a food for your good bacteria, and we know that the good bacteria needs to be in balance. We talk about that in the gut section, to have a good mindset. So fiber, very important for those two reasons. And then we have certain trace elements like zinc. Zinc regulates not just your immune response, not just growth for nails and hair and to look good, also supports the production of hydrochloric acid to break down your food, so it can be absorbed better, but at the same time has an active role in the way of how you behave and you feel. Okay, and then our magic omegas. So the body doesn't have the ability to produce omega-3s. And so we need to source them from outside. So good fatty fish are very important. And sardines, salmons are very good sources. Make sure they are from, good. I don't want to say the word source again, but it has to be that. So what we talk about here is because omega-3s are got a double bond every 3 spaces, so the oxygen comes and bonds and becomes quite quickly quite a toxic molecule, rancid, and oxidizes, and hence it can cause problem if it's not a good source of an omega-3. Okay, and omega-6s, by the way, they do the same, and omega-6 they neutralize because they're both fat-soluble toxins, put it like that, as a free radical. When they become rancid, they can very quickly attack cell membranes. And cell membranes are important, and the brain tissue is mainly fatty acids, good fatty acids. So you need to have this good ratio going in there and a good source of them. So, okay, natural sources are our chia seeds, walnuts, avocados, so flax seeds. But make sure you use chia seeds and flax seeds. They need to be grinded at the time because of the same problem. If you grind it too much in advance, they're going to get rancid and they lose their desirable effect. So omegas as well, not only have part of the structure, but they are very important also to regulate the mood balance, mood balancing and cognition, the way you think. All right. We haven't talked yet about vitamin Bs. So where do you find great vitamin Bs? In eggs and green leafy veggies, mainly. Of course, there are a few other sources, but what is important here is to understand that the vitamin Bs, they really enhances the way how you feel. The energy production in your body, the response that you're going to have to stress, and also if you're going to feel up or down. So specific folic acid and folinic acid for the ones that they are not methylating correctly, but also B12 or the activated form. So this is, we all talk about vitamin Bs as a form of energy. Make sure that if you're sourcing a form of vitamin B, it's not a synthetic form, yeah, and must be taken in the morning. Otherwise, you're going to have your eyes wide open throughout the night. All right. And then we talk about selenium. Selenium, very important. In fact, for one of our glands that support also the stress regulation, that is the thyroid. And so with selenium, iodine, magnesium, we form this triad that the thyroid will have maximum results. And when you're not absorbing nutrients correctly, or when you don't have these building blocks, then you're going to find that the thyroid cannot even do the job correctly. So then you're going to start finding that thyroid also affects memory and cognition and the way you feel. So here we go. Building blocks are essential. And selenium, you can get them from Brazil nuts, yeah, is one of the forms of easy nuts and fish as well, sources. Caffeine, I love this topic. Most people know me as the no coffee Maria, no coffee. And why? It's because I have done some studies that show that genetically speaking, and here where genetics play a huge role, only 25% of the population can break coffee. Only 25. What do you require? You require an enzyme that sits in your liver and the methylation pathway, your second stage of detoxing. And that enzyme is the same one that is going to break the excess of estrogen that we don't want, because we tend to cause all those other things that we spoke before. And so What can you do about this? How are you going to sort out this? Well, the best way is to substitute rather than risking it. Imagine if you're having in the morning a bar of chocolate that, by the way, the 7-sign processed chocolate and caffeine and the hormones. Okay, so imagine you're running late, your body's producing estrogen, you're putting tons and tons of toxic, maybe makeup and perfumes and things. So you're loading your body with all this, estrogen and your own stress hormone, your own homotoxins, and then you're having a cup of coffee, a bar of chocolate, just stuck in traffic. Can you imagine this chaotic presentation? You see what is happening, correct? Now, what is the liver going to give priority to breaking down? Well, certainly not going to give priority to your stress hormone, but to the coffee and the chocolate and the makeup and the toxins. So you can see you need to make you need to be aware. You need to make a choice on what you're going to do and how you're going to support yourself. And that's why I say, if you come for support for your hormones, make sure you stay away from coffee. Yeah, but coffee also has other undesirable effects. That is not the time to speak about that. Hydration. If you're quite dehydrated, your body cannot think. And if it cannot think, you become aggressive. Erratic is again a response that the body is saying, warning, 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 something is missing in here. So keep hydrated. Hydration depends on your size, on the temperature, on your exercise level, on many things. But just as an average, 1.2 to 1.5 liters a day of room temperature filtered water, please. And avoid teas. Teas are not hydrating, they are dehydrating, okay? Even herbal teas. And make sure you don't use those little silk bags because they're full of plastic, that they also become like a estrogen and toxin. All right, and finally, our magnesium and potassium phosphate. So those two minerals are essential for stress response. In fact, your cells under a lot of pressure release these two minerals. So if you go for a blood test and they put a syringe and you're looking at this big needle, you're going to be so stressed, most people, that you're going to release high level of magnesium in your bloodstream and might give you false results. So magnesium and potassium, they are minerals in charge of how you're going to respond to things. And the potassium phosphate in particular has got the ability to make your moods regulated. So up or down, happy or sad, anxious or depressed, all these kind of patterns. But also the ability to think, concentrate, focus, and control pain as well. So amazing little molecule, a little mineral. And then the magnesium is, we all know, is relaxant, is calming, is very important for more than 600 enzymatic processes in the body, even for energy production and the ability to think and to regulate mood. Okay, so let's talk about gut health. We know the gut-brain connection. In this area, we can talk about many, many things. But for the purpose of today, I want to remind you, if you don't have a healthy gut because you are too acid or you got an infection or you're eating the wrong food, too many toxins, you're going to break the gut lining and you're going to have problems with autoimmunity and absorption of nutrients. And we just spoke about how important it is to have the right nutrients to feel good. And then also we need to remember that if the good nutrients are not there, we're not going to thrive with our flora. Our good bacteria is not going to thrive. And what is going to happen, the lower the pH, the more the wrong flora, the wrong bacteria will thrive, and then you're going to have different responses in your body towards stressors and also on how you feel. And just to give you an idea, our gut is responsible for almost up to 90% of the production of serotonin, that is this happy hormone that not only regulates how we feel, but also other body functions like even temperature and the gut movement. And we need that gut moving because when the liver is throwing out all this process, this breakdown of this metabolized estrogen that we didn't want to have and these toxins, we need to flush them out. And if the bacteria is not in perfect order, well, guess what happens? The body recycles this and goes back to the liver, and the liver has to start all over again. Okay, so make sure you have a good bowel motion a day. Mindset. This is a fantastic topic. It's been very much in fashion nowadays. Everybody's talking about mindset. So what is a mindset? It's your ability to see how your results are and if you need to change them or not, and what is stopping you from creating these changes. And for that, you need to be aware that everything you're picking up from our five senses, you're picking up everything in here. You start thinking about something, and that becomes compressing into your subconscious. That will make you feel in a particular way, and depending on how you're feeling, you're going to create actions that lead you into results. So it is extremely important. Look at your results. If you're not happy, then you need to start educating yourself, creating new habits to create new responses and new outcomes. This is very important. I love all of this. But important is to note in here that if your genetic have a predisposition to have less serotonin production, or to have less breakdown of certain toxins, or not to absorb certain nutrients, it's also going to interfere in the way how you're feeling. So make sure that if you have a pattern that is not where you want to be, maybe seek help. Okay, and then again, remember you need to have the nutrition in order. And finally, then we need to look at the stress, how it's affecting you. Yeah, because if you know that you can have a result, but you're not sleeping and you're overwhelmed with work and you are not eating correctly, can you really go into there? Not really. So you need to have certain things in order first. So remember, if you don't know where to start, reach for help. Okay, now here, triggers are important. You know, we always talk about the apple pie that you smell when you were a child with grandma's house or at grandma's place, and then suddenly you smell something similar and transport you there. So this ability is the memory that gets stored in the limbic system, that part of the brain, and responsible for this emotional connection. But some triggers are good, some triggers are bad. And sometimes when I say good or bad, it means really depending on you, how you have experienced certain things. And that will lead you into reviving certain things, and maybe will put you in a state that is not the best state. So how we can start shifting that? This is really, really important. Now remember, every problem has a solution, and you can choose to focus on the problem or on the solution. And so Gary always used to say, bring me the solution, not just the problem, correct? So this is very important. So make choices, but if again you're finding you don't have enough motivation or your mind is not clear, it might be that you need to look at other factors in there. Memory and the limbic system. So we talk about is the control for all of this. And we talk about the five senses picking up the stimuli and creating this complex information here, and that is going to create a release of hormones. Now the limbic system doesn't speak logic, doesn't understand, okay, this is happening because of this. It works with that emotional being. So what you really need to talk is you need to speak the language of the limbic system. So you need to start changing behavior to overcome blocks. But to do that, sometimes you need to have a scent. Sometimes you need to have something else, that you're in a new space with a new particular information to reset this in your limbic system. Yeah, and that also will depend again on how resilient you are to how well you could do this. Now, for having a good limbic system, I'm repeating a little bit, I'm sorry, but repetition is learning, correct? So ensure you have all your good nutrients in there, but also we need to almost allow the limbic system to disconnect with certain things and create these new memories. So allowing that neurogenesis is important, and music plays a huge role and takes you to the happy place where you can start dreaming and creating these new patterns, but also involving yourself in exercises like, for example, deep breathing or laughing. Those two things that tend to switch off that stress from the nervous system and gives you that calmness that will allow you to have a clear mind to take action. So if you ever find yourself so overwhelmed, you can intentionally smile, and even you look silly or whatever you want to do, you will break this loop and allow you to kick into something else. All right. Also important to have a routine and get engaged into activities that involve your mind, like games and crafts and reading. And also, finally, we talked about the nutrients before, like the omegas, and reducing the electromagnetic frequencies. They play a huge role, especially in our pineal gland, and how that's going to affect our sleeping patterns. And finally, the body regenerates at night, and is when the thyroid is at its peak. action for inducing this body regeneration. So we need to be very aware. Do we have electronic gadgets in the bedroom? Are we exposed to blue light until last minute before going to bed? So a good sleep hygiene is really important. Okay, in general, the last little bit here, have a routine. Routines really help, especially if you are not in a good space or you're finding that times are a little bit challenging for you. Seek help, be with a buddy, introduce into your life new activities. Maybe make a commitment to have something outside so you can socialize and meet people. Make sure you test your hormones if that's one of the things you might need. Review your diet, avoid junk food. Junk food induces, also remember, the increase of fat cells that eventually will increase more estrogen and has this effect on moods. And also remember good nutrition. Yeah. Okay, so I leave you here. I think my time is up. Seek help if you need. I have given you a lot of points to consider. Love you a lot. Thank you for having me. And if I can be of any help, reach to me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maria. We appreciate your continual willingness to share with us your expertise. You truly are a wealth of knowledge, and I know that every single one of us tonight would have taken something away from your segment. Emotional well-being is so important and encourages self-care and inner strength, all things that we need as we go through our everyday lives, raising our families and building our empires. So, how are we feeling? Good? Great? Amazing, because we have so much more to give you tonight. Introducing a new collection for us is Richard Carlson, Executive Director of Analytical and Research Sciences.
Hello everyone, I'm Richard Carlson. I'm the Executive Director of Research and Analytical Sciences at Young Living. Today I want to talk about the new wellness collection developed by Young Living Australia. The Young Living Wellness Essential Oils are listed as complementary medicines, a first in the Young Living Australia essential oil range. The first essential oil I want to talk about is bergamot. Traditionally used in aromatherapy to relieve symptoms of indigestion and to help heal mild burns and sunburn. Cedarwood is the second essential oil in the wellness kit. Traditionally used in aromatherapy to relieve fatigue and feelings of weakness and to relieve symptoms of stress. Young Living has listed 13 essential oils, each with multiple therapeutic claims which can be used when sharing these essential oils with family and friends. Ginger Wellness, traditionally used in aromatherapy to relieve nausea and to decrease the duration of the common cold. If you didn't know all the therapeutic claims of each oil, you could take a look at this wellness information guide. Flick to the Clary Sage card, for example, and read about it there. Clary Sage Wellness, traditionally used in aromatherapy to relieve menstrual cramps and as an antispasmodic. Frankincense Wellness, traditionally used in aromatherapy to relieve mild upper respiratory tract congestion and to enhance nerve function. Lavender Wellness, traditionally used in aromatherapy to relieve headache symptoms, to relieve colic, wind pain, and to relieve mild neuralgia. I like to add lavender to my pillowcase when I sleep at night. Lemon Wellness, traditionally used in aromatherapy to enhance mental alertness, to relieve nausea, and as a rubefacient to stimulate blood flow to skin. Just like all of our other Young Living essential oils, the wellness essential oils receive the seed to seal quality commitment. We believe you want only the best for your family and yourself. Products that are genuine and 100% authentic essential oils. The next oil in the wellness collection is lemongrass wellness, traditionally used in aromatherapy as an analgesic to relieve pain and mild rheumatoid aches and reduce the duration of common colds. Orange wellness, traditionally used in aromatherapy as a nervous system relaxant and to assist mind and body relaxation. Peppermint wellness, traditionally used in aromatherapy as an antipyretic to relieve mild fever and as an analgesic to relieve pain. Tea tree is an essential oil that's well known to Australians. Tea tree wellness, traditionally used in aromatherapy to help relieve symptoms of minor skin wounds, to relieve symptoms of insect bites, and to relieve the symptoms of acne. The last oil in the wellness collection is ylang ylang. Ylang ylang is traditionally used in aromatherapy to help relieve the symptoms and reduce the occurrence of mild anxiety. This collection provides everyday comfort and relief that makes all the difference to you, your partner, family, and friends. Wishing you wellness every day.
Thank you, Richard, for sharing the Wellness Collection video with us. So the Wellness Collection was created to bring comfort and relief on the go. The wholesale price is $269 exclusive to Australian members, which is the total price of the 12 wellness essential oils. Plus you get the case and the guide for free. So what makes this case so wonderful is it's made of vegan leather, which looks beautiful. It's compact and versatile that holds all 12 wellness essential oils plus 4 additional spaces for your very favourite 5ml oils to go in. The bottles are lying down in this case so you can view the labels quickly and easily. You can carry the case by the handle and all the oils are upright. And when you're displaying the open case on a table like this or in your hands, the case is sturdy, the oils are snug and all facing the right direction. You also have a pocket in this case that holds the handy companion guide, which is a great tool. It goes through therapeutic claims, the aromatic profile, directions of use, and at the back it has an A to Z guide guiding you through your wellness oils. The cards in this guide are hard wearing and will last a long time. You can reposition the cards and add to them in the future. So all in all, a must-have collection for any household.
Don't you just love the wellness oil collection? Now, as we all know, a good night's sleep is extremely important for your health, but there is a lot that can interfere with our natural sleep patterns, which can impact our overall health. Our next guest enjoys helping people learn to sleep well again and improve their quality of life and well-being. Hayley Meiklam is a psychologist and a research scientist with a special interest in sleep psychology, and she's currently completing a PhD at Monash University. Hayley is co-chair of the Insomnia and Sleep Health Council for Australasian Sleep Association. She is a member of many councils and foundations that are all dedicated to promoting and supporting a full range of behavioural and cognitive therapies, which are leading the way in sleep treatment, science and research. We are so grateful to have her here tonight to learn from. Please welcome Hayley Meiklam.
Good evening, everyone. It's so lovely to be here at this Young Living event this evening. Thank you so much for having me. My name's Hayley Meiklam. I'm a psychologist and I focus specifically on sleep. So I'm here tonight to talk to you about the potent power of sleep and how to get a better night's sleep. So I've got some slides, so bear with me and I'll just load these up for you. Hopefully you can all see that there. But I'm here on behalf of the Sleep Health Foundation and super excited to talk to you about this evening. So what do I do and why am I here to talk to you? Well, I am a sleep psychologist, and what that means is that I work at a sleep centre. So I'm a psychologist by training, but I specifically focus on sleep and people that are having difficulty sleeping with conditions like insomnia. I'm also working on a PhD to improve the training of psychologists in sleep, make sure that every psychologist out there knows how to address common sleep problems. And my other role is for the Sleep Health Foundation is to come and talk to groups such as yourself about the importance of sleep and how to sleep. So what I want to cover with you this evening is sleep and wellness, because I believe many of you are wellness advocates and really looking into how to improve your overall health and well-being. Talk about the basics of sleep, causes of inadequate sleep, how to improve your sleep, and to leave with a little bit of a plan, to go forth and improve your sleep longer term. So why am I here to talk about sleep? The answer is to that essentially is that sleep is an essential pillar of good health. So along with our diet, our exercise, and our social connections, sleep is really a building block of good health, and one that's really been missed in the health and wellness conversation for years. We're gaining ground, thankfully. We know that if you're not sleeping well, you can be more fatigued, and there is research to show that 19 hours without sleep, we perform as badly on some tests such as reaction time as if we're at a blood alcohol content of 0.05. So we know we're not allowed to drive at 0.05, but there's currently no roadside test for fatigue. So it's really important that we sleep well for optimal performance. Our cognition, so concentration, attention, and learning can all be impacted if we're not sleeping. But one area for me that's really important is how we regulate our mood. And I'll talk a little bit more about mood and mental health on the next slide. We know that there is a two-way or a bi-directional relationship between our sleep and our mood regulation. So, for me, if I'm feeling a bit down and, ruminating over things, I might find it a little bit more difficult to get to sleep at night. But if I haven't slept well, then my mood might not be as great the next day. And so this becomes a real vicious and escalating cycle. I'm sure we've all experienced feeling pretty grumpy after a night of poor sleep. But this can really, this cycle can escalate. And for some people, it becomes this, real vicious cycle that it's hard to escape from. But for our mental health, sleep is really crucial. What about our physical health impact? Weight management is an area that's really emerging, that sleep is something that's really important. Previously, a lot of that diet and exercise instruction is to say, miss out on sleep, get up at 5 a.m, exercise before you go to work, and that's how you're going to lose weight. But we know that's not the case. If we're more sleep deprived, our motivation to exercise is impacted. We also make poorer food choices. And it seems that our metabolism doesn't work as well when we're sleep deprived. So it is really important for weight management to make sure we're getting adequate sleep. Blood pressure, our risk of diabetes, our immunity, and even our brain health is all affected if we are not sleeping well. And, especially I think with colds and flu risk, there is one study that really shows that if we're getting less than 5 hours sleep on average, we're more likely to catch the common cold if we're sleeping, more than 5 hours. So overall, both our mental and physical health really benefit from sleeping well. And I encourage you, if this is an area of interest, to look at the Harvard Healthy Sleep website. There's a lot of really good information on there. So sleeping well will essentially improve all elements of your wellness and your quality of life. So both at work, at home, and in your relationships. When we're well rested, sleeping well, it makes the rest of our lives easier. So I'm going to talk through the basics of sleep now, and essentially that idea of what is good sleep. Well, good sleep, is a little bit different for everyone, but I want to talk through what the research says about what we should be aiming for. So firstly, I just want to point out that normal sleep is actually quite dynamic. And we're going through lots of different cycles of sleep throughout the night. We don't just sort of, our head hits the pillow, we fall asleep, and then we wake up the other side. There's actually a lot happening. And we actually progressively cycle closer to the surface of sleep throughout the night. So we are more likely to wake up as the night goes on. So if we have a look at our sleep in closer detail, what you'll see here is that we do cycle through about 90 minutes it takes for a full sleep cycle, but we go from being awake to these lighter stages, stage 1 and stage 2 of sleep, and to our deeper stages of stage 3, 4. Then we come up, we have a bit of rapid eye movement sleep, and then we go through the same thing. And what you'll notice from this graph is that we have more of this slow wave or deep sleep at the start of the night, and it gets less towards the end of the night. Rapid eye movement sleep, which is essentially where we're having a lot of dreams. Our brains are actually really active during this stage of sleep. This is, we have less at the start of the night and more towards the end of the night. If we are sleeping in, we wake up right out of that stage of sleep, we tend to recall more dreams. You might notice these little peaks here, and this is where we have these normal brief awakenings throughout the night. For some people, they're so brief that we don't remember them. But I just want to emphasize that it is really normal to wake up a couple of times. The idea that we don't wake up at all is actually not reflective of human sleep physiology. So, and especially as we get older, there's a number of awakenings. So just to point out that it is more normal than not to actually wake up, but for some people, especially when we're younger, we don't often recall these. And if we think about it from a evolutionary perspective, if we are out of action, sleeping for 8 hours, we are quite at risk of being eaten by a saber-toothed tiger, or at risk of. So our brain needed to have a way for us to be able to come to the surface, have a little bit of a look around, and then return to sleep. So now, we do know that waking up is a normal sleep. What about how sleep changes as we age? Well, as I alluded to in the previous slide, there is this natural lightening of sleep, and our ability to maintain sleep declines as we age, but this is actually a normal part of the aging process. And so once we're 65 and above, we will see some of those changes in our sleep. It's really normal, and to try not to get too worried about it, because we still actually do quite well, and we might just have a few more naps during the day to get a little bit more sleep. But how much sleep do we actually need? Well, most people will say 8 hours. Yeah, I need 8 hours, right? But this hour isn't actually based in the science. That comes from the Industrial Revolution. So having 8 hours of labour, recreation and rest, it was just a lovely way to break up the day. Whereas what the research says is that there's a range of sleep needs depending on our age. So younger children need a lot more sleep, but as adults we need somewhere in the range of 7 to 9. And current recommendations are that we get around 7 hours minimum, to avoid those negative health. So that's what we should be aiming for. But again, there is variability between people, and as you'll see here for an adult, at a minimum 6 hours, at a max 10. So anywhere below that or above 10 hours is where we see these more negative health consequences. But and in general, if we're aiming for about 7, then we're doing pretty well. What about feeling tired upon awakening? Most people will say to me, I measure a good night's sleep by how well rested I feel upon waking up. But what we actually know is, when I ask this question, not many people do feel well rested upon awakening. And one of the reasons for this is our body clock, so our circadian rhythms, they're actually set to a little bit longer than a 24-hour day. So the average body clock is more like 24 hours and 17 minutes than 24 hours. If we're getting up at the same time every day, we're always going to feel like it's, maybe 17 minutes too early. So it's going to be pretty normal to feel still a bit sleepy when we're getting there. Another part is that there is a phenomenon we call sleep inertia, where we essentially feel kind of sleep groggy, that sleep drunkenness, and it can take up to 2 hours till we reach our full level of alertness, and even more till we function at our peak. So I encourage people to not judge how well we slept until we've had a few hours of wakefulness. So even if we've woken up a couple of times, maybe the kids have woken us up, we often feel better as the day goes on. Just take a bit of pressure off sleep and to not judge the last night of sleep until we've had time to really wake up. All right, so what is considered normal? Well, people whose head hit the pillow, they fall asleep straight away is actually more abnormal than normal and might be more of a signal of sleep deprivation. So it is normal to take up to 30 minutes to fall asleep and to spend around 30 minutes awake each night. We're not going for perfection with our sleep, but more aiming for around 80 to 85% of the time that we're in bed, to be asleep. And, that total amount of hours. Although we might need to spend a little longer than 7 hours, not that much more in bed to get that amount of time. But number of awakenings 2 to 4 times per night is actually normal. And for women in that sort of perimenopause phase, this is actually going to be a bit higher. Just to think of it as not to get too distressed if you are waking up throughout the night. Awareness of dreams also ranges from none to vivid across the night, so everyone's different there. Hopefully that gives you some indication of what's considered normal, and sometimes society and advertising messages about what we should be aiming for with sleep isn't necessarily based in the science. So what are the causes of inadequate sleep? So I bet many of you, especially during lockdown, have kind of felt this way, where perhaps you and your partner are on different schedules or doing different things in bed that can impact on one another, or you've got a snoring partner. And of course, these things can all impact on our sleep. But other main culprits of poor sleep are screens and sleep. So I've tried to make this photo look very unattractive so that you don't do it. But screens are problematic in numerous ways. One, they emit a lot of blue light, which essentially disrupts our circadian rhythms and signals to our body clock that it is still daytime and time to be awake and not produce melatonin, and get in the way of our natural, natural rhythms and production of melatonin. Number two, they're not great because essentially we can't control the information coming in. So we might receive information that is stressful or alerting, and therefore we become more awake and alert rather than getting sleepy. The last thing is that these devices can displace sleep. I know I've done it before where I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to bed at 11 o'clock tonight, but I get so engrossed on Facebook or Instagram or watching something on my phone that I look up and it's 11:30 and it's past my bed. So, there's many ways in which screens are stealers of our sleep. So, if possible, to put them away, a couple of hours, charge them outside the bedroom is normally a good piece of advice. Light and sleep. So we often focus on blue light from devices, but our houses and the light that's in a lot of these energy efficient light bulbs, research is coming out to say that this is actually much more problematic for our circadian rhythms and body clock than previously thought. So we know that light on that bluer end of the spectrum has more of an influence on our body clock. And research from Monash University is showing that there's a lot of individual differences in how sensitive we are to light. So much that there's a 50-fold difference in that sensitivity between some individuals, only needing about 25 lux to see a reduction in their melatonin, whereas other individuals who are less sensitive can be blasted with light before bed and not have too much of a difference on sleep onset or their quality of deep sleep in that cycle. So I guess, if you are someone who notices that you're more sensitive to light, that it's probably a little bit more important for you to make sure that, we've got, darker evenings. So trying to follow, the natural, sun and sun pattern. So bright days and dark nights is what we're going for. What about alcohol and sleep? Well, a lot of people will say, look, alcohol can help me fall asleep. So some people do use sleep aid, but it is really quite detrimental to those, our stages of sleep. And it kind of can, really impact the quality of sleep that we get and cause more awakenings throughout the night. So it is something we don't recommend. But, have alcohol, well enough before bed that hopefully it's out of the system. Caffeine and sleep. Well, I'm in Melbourne, big cafe culture here. We love our caffeine, but it is not without its risk for sleep. So again, there is individual differences in how sensitive we are to caffeine. Some people can have a coffee and go to sleep. For others, it might be having a coffee at 12 o'clock and still. We do know that caffeine has a long half-life. So it does take about 6 to 7 hours for half of that cup of coffee to get out of your system. So, if you are having a coffee at midday, you've still got a good, at least a quarter of it in your system at bedtime. So we encourage people to kind of keep your caffeine kind of before midday, not have too much of it. And if you are someone that's sensitive, you might need to manage it a little bit more than someone who's not. But it's not just coffee that has caffeine. Green tea and dark chocolate actually has quite a bit. So, I've had people come through to the clinic who have eliminated most caffeine, but actually, having a big mug of green tea and eating a block of dark chocolate before they go to bed. So, of course, all these things can still. What about stress? Well, we know stress is a big disruptor of sleep. It does, our body goes into more of that flight or fight response. Our amygdala, so that emotion center of the brain, starts firing and signaling to us it's not safe to sleep, essentially. So, managing stress, easier said than done. And I think there are some other speakers at, this event tonight who can help on this front, but I'll talk a little bit more about managing sleep shortly. What about sleep and pregnancy, and then as the kids grow up? Well, I'd encourage you, if this is a stage of life that you're at, to check out Sleep Hub podcast. There's a really great one on sleep and pregnancy, and how, as we, I guess, bringing a new little human into the world, and as they grow up, that our sleep does change a lot, and we need to be quite flexible. And if we've been able to control our sleep previously, we've got to more go with it, and kind of adjust to other little people's rhythms, as we go. So I really encourage you to check out that is going on for you in your life, because as a parent, sleep can really be. So those are more, I guess, some things that we do as humans, or activities we choose to engage in, and how they can impact. What about when sleep becomes a problem in and of itself? And that's why we see insomnia. So this is where people try to sleep but can't. They have difficulty falling asleep, difficulty staying asleep, and waking too early. And have often tried a lot of those more sleep hygiene measures, managing their stress, and sleep still continues to be a problem. A lot of people will experience these daytime problems, fatigue, low mood, and it's really a 24-hour problem. It's not just confined to the night. And it becomes, I guess, more of a problem when it's been going on for 3 months or more. So that's often when we encourage you that we might need to do a little bit more than sleep hygiene to improve sleep. It's always a good place to start. So, how do we improve our sleep? The million-dollar question, and it's going to be a little bit different for everyone. So I want to give a few different bits of advice here. But before we know how to fix our sleep, let's think about the things that do control and regulate our sleep. And we can think of this as the hourglass, the clock, and the alarm. So the hourglass, I always think of days of our lives here, but essentially how long we've been awake. The longer we're awake, the more propensity we have for sleep. Drive for sleep increases. And this is related to the more energy that we expend just from being awake. It doesn't necessarily relate to exercise, but our brain produces, kind of energy. There's byproducts of energy expenditure, and these increases the longer we're awake. So essentially, we can't go forever without sleep. Even, if we go for sleep without sleep for one night, we will, kind of catch up the next. We get really much more tired and sleepy, and we're able to maintain sleep. And just that idea that the longer we are awake, the more propensity we have to sleep. And doing things like napping, do reduce our sleep drive across the day. So we've got to, build up as much sleep drive as we can across the day. The other part, in that, in these two processes, the time of day and, how long we've been awake, they are independent processes, but they work together to get us sleep. So these more relate to our circadian rhythms, and everyone's kind of body clock is set to a slightly different time. So some people are a little bit more night owls or early birds, and can, struggle to fall asleep at 10 o'clock, but fall asleep really easily at midnight. So we've got to work in with our own individual timing. The other thing is, you will have noticed, if you've ever done shift work and then got home and gone to go to bed at 10 o'clock in the morning, probably don't maintain, fall asleep or maintain. The timing of day, is really important for us. Also, how many alarms going off, that level of arousal, whether that be through stress, whether that be through busyness, or just where, we're sort of a general level of hyper arousal in the background. This can really disrupt other sleep processes. When I'm thinking about someone who has a sleep problem, I'm thinking, do we have a problem with their sleep drive and building up? Are they napping a lot, getting into bed too early when they're not necessarily sleepy enough? Is it a time of day? Are they someone who they've got more of a delayed circadian rhythm, more of a night owl, and they've started a new job where they have to get up early, and so they're trying to get to bed early, and it's a body clock problem? Or is it that there's a lot of stress, high levels of arousal in the daytime, and they're disrupted? So that's, I guess, a framework that I work with. But firstly, I want to talk about good sleep. It's not just the night. If we are running on adrenaline all day, it's going to be much harder to fall asleep at night. So one of the first steps to working with sleep is, let's check our general health and wellness. Are we looking after ourselves? Are we getting exercise? Are we eating well? Have we had sufficient debrief time with our friends to, talk through our stresses? having that self-compassion that we can't do everything, working full-time, having kids, trying to have a social life, all these things, we are really busy and time pressured. And so that sometimes when we've got a lot going on, sleep can be the first thing to be a bit of a signal to us that, we may be burning the candle a bit at both. It might be time. And look a bit how we can look after ourselves. The other part is we want to really maximize our sleep drive. So thinking the longer we're awake, the higher propensity it is for us to sleep. So essentially, if people are, not sleeping well and then napping throughout the day, we want to kind of remove that behavior so that we can save up all our sleep drive for the nighttime hours. And in general, we want to be thinking about, often if we're not sleeping well, we start to spend longer in bed. So it's like, I want to get 8 hours of sleep, but I'm only sleeping about 6, but I'm going to try and get more. So I'll go to bed at, 9:30 and then get up at 8 o'clock. We might spend a huge chunk of our evening in bed, but we're not getting that great quality sleep. So essentially, when we're not sleeping well, we want to go, how many hours am I actually sleeping? It might only be 6 at the moment because I've got a lot going on. So that's kind of the time that I want to aim for in bed, about 6 or 7 hours, not more, so that we can really build up our sleep drive. Just by being awake and moving throughout the day, we're building more sleep drive to hopefully help us fall asleep and stay asleep more. So I guess the key message is, we're not sleeping well, don't spend more time in bed. Kind of keep it to that around that 7 hours or however much time you're sleeping. And with that, are we sleepy or tired in the evening? These terms are often used interchangeably, but essentially, how does being sleepy differ from being tired? Well, when I'm sleepy, I know my eyelids get really heavy, I'm yawning a lot, I kind of, if I'm reading, I can't really focus too much anymore, I keep zoning out. That's a signal for me that I'm sleepy. But if I'm tired and I'm just generally fatigued, I feel heavy, I can't be bothered, I just want to collapse on the couch and not do much. But I'm not necessarily getting these sleepy signals. So what I encourage people to do is to work out the difference in those things between you and, to not get into bed until you're actually sleepy. We're not focusing on getting to bed at a certain clock time, but more about, are we actually sleepy? And if we are really stressed or we've got really busy, we might need a little bit more kind of time to get sleepy in the evening. And that might mean actually going to bed a little bit later to get better quality sleep. So a bit counterintuitive there. But that idea of sleepy versus tired. We also want to manage our circadian rhythms. Our bodies love regularity, regular sleep-wake times, also regular exposure to light. So encouraging people to keep a regular routine. And during COVID, this is a big problem as we sort of didn't have to go to work, get the train, do all these things. So encouraging them to really keep a fixed wake time, even on weekends, because our body clock doesn't know it's the weekend. It likes to get up at the same time every day. And this essentially helps our body know when to be awake and then when to sort of cue sleep. And part of that is to reduce that light exposure at night, both through devices and bright lights. Think we want bright days and dim nights, kind of much more like our ancestors had, before the electric lights were invented. And it's not just about light. Meal times are also really important. So trying to have your breakfast, lunch, dinner roughly at the same time, because that helps our body know, what time is it. We really need, our body relies on some of these inputs from the external environment to help cue it to what it needs to do. All right, what about relaxation and self-compassion? Especially if we've got those alarms going off, or high levels of hyperarousal, we really need to work on reducing our arousal levels. And this is going to be a bit different for everyone. And I encourage you to play around and find out what works for you. Getting out in nature is, one that a lot of my clients really connect with, and it's something that gets missed. Or using essential oils, to help calm and kind of soothe our nervous system. Exercise also really important. There's also a lot of apps there of mindfulness, pleasant imagery. Remembering one of your favorite holidays or doing some mindful breathing exercises. These activities, not so much about doing them before bed to help you fall asleep, but as a way of relaxing and self-compassion. throughout the day, helping your nervous system not be running on adrenaline all day. It's not as hard for it to wind down and relax at night. All right, what if you're thinking and worrying throughout the night? Well, getting into bed, it's often the first time our brain has had to think and revise all what's happening throughout the day. To encourage you, if this is what's going on for you, we want to be spending a bit of time throughout the day, maybe 20 minutes, half an hour, having some worry time, doing what we call constructive worry, writing down what's going on for us, and doing some constructive problem solving. If we do this during the day, it comes up at night, we say, I've done this today, I'm going to think about it again tomorrow. There's nothing really I can do tonight. We know our brains do not process and think through things. And ultimately, if we are struggling with sleep, sleep is an autonomic bodily process. It's something that we can't force. We've got to allow it to unfold and come to us when it's ready. We can't control it. So this can be a really tricky thing to, much easier to say than do. But if you're having a night where no matter what you do, you just can't sleep, it's often better to let go of those attempts to sleep. Get up and do something, a pleasant, relaxing activity out of the bedroom. Build up a little bit more sleep drive, relax a little bit more, take your mind off it. Sleep will come to you when it's ready, but we can't force it. So, best to try, let go of sleep. Do something else, that's relaxing, not too much light, and eventually we'll get sleepy again. And if we don't sleep well tomorrow night, there's always, if we don't sleep well tonight, there's always tomorrow. So think, if not tonight. Alrighty, so there's some basic sleep tips, and I hope they sort of get you thinking about some ways you might be able to improve your sleep. I always say that if you've tried these strategies on your own and sleep's still not kind of working too well, or it's been going on for a long time, I encourage you to get some help with your sleep. So the Australasian Sleep Association has a little Find a Sleep service website where you can locate sleep psychologists like myself, or a sleep physician who might want to screen for some other sleep disorders. So it's always worth it. It's been going on for a while. It's causing a lot of distress. To get it checked out. And, thinking about walking away from this session tonight, how are you going to sleep better? Are you more someone who's just experiencing inadequate sleep because you've got a lot going on, but in general you sleep pretty well? So it's a priority to just, aim for that more 7 hours of sleep. How will you kind of work that into your schedule? To manage your stress, what can you do? Can you, get out for a walk in nature, or spend a little bit more time with essential oils, to help manage stress? If you're not sleeping well, what might you do? It might be around, planning some worry time, or staying up, till you're really sleepy before sleep. So to have a think through some of those strategies. So thank you. It's been great to chat with you. There's some resources through the Sleep Health Foundation and Sleep Hub I really encourage you to check out. And enjoy the rest of this evening, some great information. And I wish you all the best sleep for years to come. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hayley, for your time and expertise. I'm sure we're all going to get a good night's sleep tonight. Not only are these events power-packed with information from our special guests, but we also get a sneak peek at some new product launches to sweeten the night. I'm super excited to welcome Diamond leader Nikki Bryan to introduce you to our amazing new lifestyle collection. We can't wait till you see it.
Hey everyone, today I am so excited to announce Young Living's newest lifestyle collection bundle, the Sweet Dreams collection. So let's have a look at what it includes now. Firstly, it comes with this gorgeous Young Living branded box and all of the goodies inside. And then it comes with some essential oils to create that really restful, beautiful sleep environment, which we all want. The first oil, which is the jack of all trades, lavender. Okay, even if people don't know about essential oils, they've probably heard that lavender is really good for a restful sleep. So lavender is an absolute must in this collection. Then it comes with cedarwood oil. Cedarwood oil is my husband's favorite essential oil, and I absolutely love it because of its woodsy smell. It is very, very relaxing, and my husband has the best night's sleep ever when he uses it. And if you combine these two in this beautiful branded Young Living spray bottle, you have got yourself an amazing room spray or linen spray, which you can actually use for the whole family. So a few drops in here, topped with water, and you can create that awesome, relaxing environment for sleep. If you have children or just for yourself, for a little bit of self-care, it is what we all need. Now, the next oil that this collection comes with is actually my favorite essential oil, but it's in roller form. So we have the Peace and Calming Roller. It is amazing. It smells like bubblegum. It is an intoxicating smell, and I never ever feel better than when I use this at night. I wake up feeling incredibly refreshed and like I've had a very deep, restful sleep. So this is a must-have. And when you're combining aromatical use with topical use with essential oils, you are getting the best self-care possible. The collection also comes with this super cute eye mask, okay? Amazing for travel or amazing if you're staying somewhere and there's so much light coming in. I'm gonna show you what it looks like, okay? When we remove light out of the picture, we can actually have a much sounder sleep, and it is way better for our health. So using an eye mask is absolutely awesome to get rid of that extra light. And it's actually beautifully soft and well made. So this is a really nice one that I will definitely use for all of my trips and everything. Take it with me, absolutely perfect. There's also one last special item that this collection comes with, and you're gonna be so excited. Okay, let's have a look. This is the Lucia diffuser, the artesian diffuser. It is hand-blown glass. It is absolutely stunning. It comes with multiple light options, and it is just the perfect size for the bedroom. Putting it next to your bed so you can breathe in these essential oils all night and have the most amazing sleep. This collection is going to be so popular. I love it. I have not stopped using all of these products, which I do anyway, but this diffuser and the beautiful spray bottle, absolutely stunning. They are going to be a well-loved favorite. So it's also perfect to get started with Young Living if you've never become a member before. And also, if you do want to grab it, you just head to youngliving.com.au and go to Lifestyle Collections, and you'll find the Sweet Dreams collection there. I'm so excited. I know you guys will be as well. Let's get ready to transform our sleep into the best night you've ever had. All right, see you guys.
Thank you, Nikki. What a wonderful presentation. We're so happy to hear you love the Sweet Dreams collection as much as we do. For a quick recap, the Sweet Dreams collection is your ultimate dreaming bundle, designed to provide you with simple, safe and effective solutions for everyday stress relief and soothing sleep. The collection includes a classic lavender essential oil, a calming cedarwood essential oil, a handy Peace and Calming roll-on, the gorgeous Lucia diffuser, a beautiful Sweet Dreams eye mask, a YL branded glass spray bottle, a Sweet Dreams booklet which includes tips and tricks for encouraging relaxing sleep. And here's how you can get your hands on it. The wholesale price for Australia is $215 for members, $233.40 for New Zealand members. It has a PV value of 90 and it is available on standard or essential rewards orders. Unfortunately, this bundle cannot be redeemed on essential rewards points. Who's ready for some sweet dreams? Well, you're in luck because this collection becomes available tomorrow, Friday, the 26th of March. Now, for some incredibly exciting news. We know you're gonna love it. All will be revealed after this brief video, followed by our fabulous YL Silver member, naturopath nutritionalist Jen Knutson.
Wow, what an absolutely incredible product. I know that you guys on the other side of the screen are just as excited as I am to have this incredible product here on our shores. I personally love collagen and I use it every single day, and I have done for many years. So this is a product that I have been waiting to come, and now we get to enjoy it here in Australia and New Zealand, which is super exciting. I'm also very excited to be here with you guys today to talk about all of the benefits of collagen, what it is, what it does, why it's beneficial, all the things, okay? Now, there is a lot of information for me to get to you, so you will see I do have some notes here to keep me on track and make sure that I'm getting all that pertinent, good info that you are going to want to dive in. So grab a pen and paper if you don't have one, because I'm going to give you some nuggets, okay? Now, I'm a green personality through and through. If you don't know that about me, I'm a big fat nerd. So I love knowing about the what and the why, because I sincerely believe that understanding the what and the why will help with the how down the track, okay? So what I'm going to do today is make sure that I give you the what and the why, and I'm going to give you the how as well. But that way, going forward, you know what you're taking and why you're taking it. And isn't that really important information to know regardless of what it is, right? And this is something too. You guys are absolutely going to want to share Bloom by Young Living Collagen for sure. So you can't just know how to take it. You have to be able to share. What is it? Why is it important? Those sorts of things, all right? So that's what we're gonna dive into today. Awesome, so first things first, what is collagen? So basically it's this hard, fibrous, insoluble protein that is found within the body, okay? And it makes up about 30% or so of your body's total protein, okay? So this makes it the most abundant structural protein in the human body. And it's a key building block for things like your skin, your bones, your ligaments, your connective tissues, and your tendons, your hair, your nails. But it's also found in things like your cornea and your blood vessels. You might find it in your heart. Well, you will find it in your heart, your bladder, the digestive tract, and also smooth muscle tissues. So it's everywhere in our bodies, right? Its job is basically to hold the cells and the tissues together. So just sort of think of it like glue that holds everything together, okay? And what this does then is it creates the scaffolding as such, and it helps to give the body structure and strength and support. So that's really, really important. Now, when it comes to our face specifically, let's say, this will help to give the face volume and shape and definition, all the things that we want when it comes to our face, right? Collagen is really important to so many different body functions. So I want to give you a few examples of it here, okay? So it's a strengthening glue between the cells in the artery walls. This is important because it allows the arteries to withstand the pressure of the blood going through with every single heartbeat. Big deal. It also helps to replace dead skin cells, which is really vital for healing wounds and for the tissue and the skin to regenerate. Scars are actually made from collagen, which can be very important because that's actually knitting together the tissues that were torn apart. So that's an important thing as well. It can also help to protect structures like the skin, for example, by inhibiting the absorption and the spreading of things like environmental toxins or microorganisms or pathogenic substances. And it can also act as a lovely protective layer over some of our more delicate organs, so things like the kidneys as well. So you can see that collagen isn't only beneficial to your health and well-being, it is vital, right? It's essential to it as well. Now, there are many different types of collagen within the body, but the majority of them are types 1, 2, and 3. So I want to cover those in a little bit more detail now, okay? So type 1 is the main type of collagen within the body, and it makes up about 90% of it. So it's the big one, type 1, okay? It is flexible, but gram for gram is actually stronger than steel. Isn't that crazy? Like, mind-blowing to me, right? It's going to help to give structure to the skin and to the bones and to the teeth and the connective tissue, to the tendons, and also to the fibrous cartilage. But it does also help to form the cornea and the blood vessels as well. Now, if you're looking for a type of collagen to really support the skin really, really well, type 1 is where it's at, okay? Because it is quite literally a building block for the skin. That means that as you age and collagen production naturally starts to decline, you're probably going to notice the loss of type 1 collagen in your skin. So we're talking a little bit of fine lines, maybe some wrinkles coming in, and your skin might be that little bit, it's got a little bit less elasticity, essentially, okay? Now, I personally love aging. I know that's probably weird, but I think that it's a blessing that not everybody gets to enjoy. So I don't mind some of, the little crow's feet around there. Totally fine for me. I don't mind it because it means you laugh. It means you've had a life, right? I think that's fine. But other wrinkles or sagging skin, dull skin, not so much. I'd rather pass on that. So type 1 collagen is where it's at to help with those things, all right? Now, as we go into type 2, this is the type of collagen that cushions your joints, but it also helps to provide a bit of support for the long bones at the joint area, okay? And this is why so many different collagen products will actually say that it helps to support healthy joints. Type 3 collagen is the second most abundant type of collagen in the human body. So it can often be found alongside type 1 in many of the same areas that type 1 is found in. So it gives structure to the muscles and to the organs, to the arteries, some of the connective tissue in the blood vessels. It's also found in things like the liver and the spleen and the uterus, and it also helps to support healthy skin as well. Now, unfortunately, with age, not only does collagen production decrease, but the quality does as well. And so that means the cell structure will start to deteriorate. So this can result in the skin getting thinner and weaker, making it easier to damage. So skin might also appear a little bit more saggy. You might get some more wrinkles coming in. Your hair can get a little bit limp and lifeless. Your tendons and your ligaments will start to lose their elasticity, so we can lose a lot of our flexibility there. And the joints can become stiffer as the cartilage weakens and diminishes. These are all things that we think about as we age, right? And people just chalk it up to, oh, I'm just getting older. But this can also be part of the collagen production and the quality decreasing as well. And that's not really a coincidence, given that from about the age of 20, your collagen production starts to decrease, okay? By the time you hit 40 years old, 30% of your overall collagen will be lost. And by the time you hit 50, nearly half of it is gone. When it comes to your skin health, then, this can absolutely cause dramatic changes to your appearance, right? Again, sagging skin, wrinkles, dull skin, dry skin, all of these things that, again, we say that's part of aging, but again, it could be part of that collagen picture as well. But age isn't the only thing that impacts collagen, okay? Things like smoking. This decreases collagen production, which can inhibit wound healing and lead to wrinkles as well. Consuming too much sugar or too many refined carbohydrates, so things like breads and pastas, cereals, conventional baked goods, those sorts of things, because your body actually processes the refined carbohydrates the same as they would do sugar. And unfortunately, sugar messes with collagen's ability to repair itself. So it can make collagen really dry and brittle and weak. Now, I personally am a huge fan of safe sun. However, too much UV light exposure can actually decrease collagen production as well as cause it to break down faster. Not what we want. We've all seen those leathery skin people, right? So please be really, really mindful of the things that you do have control over, because collagen does so many wonderful things within the body. And collagen can really help you to age gracefully. So it's not only important for us women, but for men as well, right? And I can hear you on the other side of the screen saying, okay, this stuff sounds awesome. I want my collagen now. I want it stat. Don't worry, I got you. I'm going to get there. But I want to talk about some of the different types of collagen that are available because there's a few. So there tends to be bovine collagen, marine collagen, you've got chicken collagen, and you've even got eggshell membrane collagen. But the two most common types are bovine, which is from cows, and then we've got marine, which is what comes from fish. Now, I want to talk about marine collagen specifically for a moment. So this is a protein that's made from fish skin. And you're probably saying, like, gross, I do not want that. But come on, like, surely you guys like a little bit of crispy salmon skin, right? Let's be real, it's delicious, right? But in order to get from the fish skin to what you actually consume, the skin has to be washed and then hydrolyzed. So all this means is that water is used to break down the skin and the scales into smaller particles so that the collagen peptides, which is what's left over from this process, are easier to digest. Size actually does matter in this case, okay? We want the smaller particles because they are more readily bioavailable. The other benefit of collagen peptides is that there is better acceptance and assimilation within the body. And just a quick note, you might see that some companies call this collagen peptide and others call it hydrolyzed collagen. Same thing. It's literally the same thing. It's just two different ways to word it. Exact same thing, okay? Now, marine collagen is more absorbable and more bioavailable because it has a lower molecular weight and size. This then enables the collagen to get absorbed within your intestines, get into the bloodstream, and then carried throughout the body where it should be. And that then allows collagen to be produced in places like your skin and the joints and the bones and all of those places that we've already discussed. Now, do you remember the different types of collagen that we talked about just before? So types 1, 2, and 3. Marine collagen is a type 1 collagen. Again, that's the type of collagen that makes up 90% of the collagen within your body. So this is a great thing. And people who are really wanting to promote healthy skin, they tend to go for a type 1 collagen because, again, this is what skin is made up of, okay? But again, type 1 collagen can create this awesome foundation for things like maintaining the strength and the flexibility of your skin, your joints, the muscles, tendons, blood vessels, eyes, nails, hair, all the things, okay? Even your gums actually have some collagen there as well. So not only that, but marine collagen has both essential and non-essential amino acids. If something is considered essential, it means that your body cannot make it itself. You've got to get it in your diet. And if you don't know what amino acids are, they're just basically what makes up protein, okay? So marine collagen is made up of this really beautiful, unique blend of essential amino acids, essential and non-essential amino acids. And it contains really high levels of things like glycine and proline and hydroxyproline as well. And all of these then stimulate cells that allow for the support of the hair and the nails and the joints and the skin, all right? Now you might be thinking, yeah, this all sounds fantastic, but what's the sustainability like? And that's a great question. But this is where quality comes into play and where Bloom by Young Living Collagen stands out above the rest. So every single shot of Bloom collagen, which comes in these beautiful little bottles, I know that's hard to see, but this packaging is incredible. It's so pretty. But every single one of these shots has undergone a sustainable and eco-friendly manufacturing process. That's not really surprising, really. Like, I don't think that you guys would be surprised knowing the high standards that Young Living has for quality, right? But also being eco-friendly. They really do make a conscious effort to conserve the beauty and the resources and the inhabitability of our planet. And for me, that was a big tick for Young Living there. Do not worry when you take marine collagen that it's not going to taste fishy, okay? That's probably the thought that you have knowing that it comes from fish skin, but the fish oil has actually been removed from the final product, so you're not getting this real fishy taste, okay? And Bloom by Young Living collagen is delicious. That's coming from a water drinker. Like, I literally drink water and Ningxia Red and maybe peppermint tea like 3 times a year because I don't like the taste of stuff. But this is delicious. It's got this sweet, citrusy sort of flavor that is really, really beautiful. I actually really like to take it in my shot of Ningxia Red. I'll mix the two together. I think that's a really nice combination. Every single serve, which is one of these bottles, every single serve has 10,000 milligrams of peptin liquid marine collagen. Not only that though, you are going to get the goodness of wolfberry juice, of jasmine green tea extract, and a whole bunch of other skin supporting nutrients. And of course, it would not be a Young Living product without some essential oils in it, okay? But actually, this is incredible because this is the world's first essential oil infused liquid marine collagen. Talk about being ahead of the game, guys. This is super, super exciting stuff. Young Living just kicks goals, right? They smash them. I think it's incredible. So this Bloom by Young Living collagen has lemon, lime, and grapefruit essential oils in it, which are all really high in D-limonene. It also has antioxidants and 10 milligrams of protein, which is really vital to tissue repair and rebuilding, but also for healthy skin and muscles. Now, what I want to do is read you the main benefits of Bloom by Young Living collagen because they are awesome. So get your pens out. So Bloom by Young Living collagen, it helps to revitalize skin suppleness. It helps to rejuvenate skin complexion and restore natural radiance. It helps to improve skin texture and smoothness. It helps to strengthen skin elasticity and flexibility and firmness. And as a bonus, it's going to help your hair, your nails, and your connective tissue health. This is awesome stuff. Are you guys excited? Like, surely you're on the other side of the screen saying, yeah, this stuff is awesome. I need it now. So let me tell you how to take this. If you're 30 or over, like me, you're going to want to take one of these bottles every single day for 90 days to get the optimum results, okay? One of these for 90 days. Now, if you are younger than 30, or if you've gotten your 90 days done and you're now on maintenance, you can just drink one of these bottles every other day. So it ends up being like 3 to 4 bottles a week. Okay, and there is so much more that I want to share with you about this product. I want to dive in a little bit deeper. So what I'm going to do is invite you to head over to the Young Living Business Collective Facebook page, where I am going to dive in that little bit further. All right, so head on over, and I cannot wait to see you there.
Thanks, Jen, for that amazing presentation. If you love Jen's presentation and want to know more about the Young Living Bloom Collagen Complete, then head over to the Wild Business Collective group for more in-depth training. Now that you've heard all the amazing benefits Bloom by Young Living Collagen Complete has to offer, I'm going to let you know how you can get your hands on it. This product is available for both Australian and New Zealand members in either a 10-pack or a 30-pack. The wholesale pricing for the 10-pack for Australian members is $66 and for New Zealand members is $72.30. If you wanted to get your monthly supply of collagen complete, it's also available in the 30-pack with a 5% discount. The wholesale pricing of this pack for Australian members is $188 and for New Zealand members is $206. Unfortunately, as this is a partial PB product, it will not be available on ER redemption points. Before I move on to our next product, we've actually got a special launch offer for all of you. The first 500 members who order the Bloom Collagen Complete 30-pack will receive a free Savvy Minerals by Young Living Poppy Seed Lip Scrub, valued at over $55. This promotion starts at midday tomorrow, 26 March. It's available 1 per member account and can be redeemed on either standard or essential rewards orders. but remember to be quick as we only have 500 of the poppy seed lip scrubs to give away. Simply add the Collagen Complete 30 pack to your order and the free lip scrub will be automatically added in the promo section. So now moving on to our last product launch of the evening, but first I've got a cute, very short video to share with all of you. I hope you enjoy. I hope you love that video. We are so excited to bring to you the new Luscious Lemon Foaming Hand Soap. This hand soap is the first of many Luscious Lemon products that we're going to have. So what is Luscious Lemon? It is a new signature scent that includes lemon, lemon myrtle, spearmint and ylang ylang essential oils, which gives it this amazing, revitalizing and luxurious aroma. The new foaming hand soap is formulated with all the good stuff and without the synthetic nasties that you can find in many products on the market. Some of the key ingredients include decyl glucoside, which is a natural cleanser and foaming agent. It effectively washes away grime and dirt. Some other amazing ingredients include aloe and ginkgo biloba, which are moisturizing and prevent the over drying of your hands. Our foaming hand soap is available in 3 convenient options for both Australian and New Zealand members. The wholesale pricing for the single is $23.20 for our Australian members and $25.50 for our New Zealand members. We've also got a convenient 3-pack available in case you wanted one for each of your bathrooms or kitchen countertops. We also have a refill available in a 946 ml bottle. This bottle is $66.35 for Australian members and $71.75 for our New Zealand members. This bottle replenishes 4 of the foaming hand soap singles. So that's a wrap on all the new products that we have available in this webinar. All of them will be available from midday tomorrow, 26 March. I hope you guys are super excited about our new product launches and have your shopping list ready to go. I'm now going to hand it over to Cindy Hardcastle, who will be going through our updates to our starter bundles. Thank you.
Thank you, Alicia. How lusciously fabulous. I am so excited to be telling you today about our upgraded Australian starter bundles. They've been a long time coming and I thank you all so much for your patience waiting for them. The new upgraded starter bundles are pretty much the same as the current ones that we've all grown to love, except that we've replaced 5 out of the 12 essential oils with wellness essential oils, which are listed as complementary medicines. You may recall back in October 2020, we launched 13 new wellness oils for individual sale, and we're so excited that 5 of these are now included in the starter bundles. So the 5 new wellness oils are frankincense wellness, lavender wellness, lemon wellness, orange wellness, and peppermint wellness. And you can see them in the starter bundle here. They've got the white labels in the top row. We also just recently learned from Richard Carlson, the Executive Director for Research and Analytical Sciences at the D. Gary Young Research Institute, all the amazing benefits and therapeutic benefits of these wellness oils. And what is so incredible is that you can now share these with friends and family and prospects. So I just ask that you please speak compliantly when you're sharing these incredible benefits. If you have a look in your virtual office in YL Central and the resources section, you'll see the Wellness Essential Oil sharing guide that you can use. We've also updated the Essential Oils at a Glance flyer and the product guide, so you can refer to both of these documents as well to make sure that you are compliantly sharing these new wellness oils. The SKUs have all changed, but the pricing has remained the same for these. Moving on to the Australian Basic Starter Bundle, there are so many upgrades to this one that I'm sure you're going to love. We've reduced the price from $59 to $48, so it's a great saving of $11. You'll notice the beautiful new artwork, so the Basic Starter Bundle now matches the Premium Starter Bundles. It's also a much better unboxing experience for your new members. It's got a single tray that everything fits nice and neatly into. It's also a lot more environmentally friendly. You'll notice that the box is a lot thinner. So a thinner box means that more of these starter bundles can fit onto a pallet, which means more can fit into a container which makes the whole shipping experience a lot cheaper and more environmentally friendly carbon-wise. It also now includes 2 of your favorite essential oils. So we have the Lavender Wellness Essential Oil in addition to the Stress Away. This new basic starter bundle also falls into the Healthy Homes and the Ningxia Red starter bundles. So they also now benefit from the new branding, the Lavender Wellness Essential Oil, and the fact that it's more environmentally friendly packaging. And please note that the SKUs for all 3 of these bundles have changed. The New Zealand version of the basic starter bundle has also been upgraded. We've reduced the price from $65 down to $53, which is a saving of $12. The difference between the Australian and the New Zealand bundles is that the New Zealand basic starter bundle includes the regular lavender essential oil and not the wellness essential oil, but otherwise it's exactly the same. So it's also included in the Healthy Home, the Ningxia Red starter bundles that you get in New Zealand, and just be aware that all 3 of them also have a new SKU. Make sure that you check out our website for all the information, and also have a look at an e-newsletter that we sent yesterday to all Star and Above members. It'll include all the information you want, as well as links to lots of useful flyers and booklets that we've created to help you share all of these new starter bundles. I also really encourage you to purchase a 10-pack of the new Discover Your Young Living Lifestyle booklet, as well as the new product guide, as they both of these include all the new products that have been launched today, as well as the new starter bundles. So happy shopping and happy enrolling. See you next time.
Wow, thank you, Cindy, and thank you so much to our fabulous marketing team who've brought these wonderful new products to you here this evening. There's so much to enjoy and so much to absorb in such an action-packed event. And I know you can't wait to order everything, but you have to wait just that little bit longer. Now, we promised you some fabulous offers, and here they are. So listen carefully, get your pen and paper. So firstly, we're talking to our members. Members, when you place your 100 PV order between tomorrow and April the 30th, you will receive with your order 2 complimentary essential oils. That's the 50ml cedarwood and the 50ml lemongrass. So remember, with your 100 PV order between tomorrow and April the 30th, you'll get those 2 oils absolutely free. It's our gift from us to you as a thank you for your time and supporting this important event. Now guests, I told you something special for you too. If you decide you'd like to try any of the products mentioned here, or indeed any Young Living product, then there's also a special gift for you. So if you join us with a 100 PV order, then the 15ml cedarwood oil and also the 50ml lemongrass essential oil will be included with your initial order, which is pretty special. They're wonderful oils, and I strongly recommend that you go and do a little bit of research. So that's the cedarwood oil and also lemongrass. Do some research and then you can learn all about them before you order. So members, please help your guests, and remember your guests must use a paper enrollment form and sent via the Member Services Department. It has to be that way because we want to make sure that those oils go with that order. Can't be an online order, and we have to stress that. So do please help your guests. Guests, look towards the member, the person that brought you here tonight, and they'll definitely help you out. So all the information and the paperwork is included in the email that will be with you at the end of this program. So just refer to that. And remember what Whitney mentioned before about forthcoming education on YLBC presented by our fabulous Bryony and some of our experts this evening. Now, it only leaves me to say thank you so much for being here and taking time away from your family. I hope that we've delivered everything you expected. I'd like to thank everybody who participated in the event this evening, our fabulous Donna Cazzola, Maria Aurora, Jen Knutson, Hayley Meeklem, and also I have to thank the team here at Young Living. We've got a terrific team who work together tirelessly to bring these events to you. I have a fabulous team in the sales and education girls, as I call them. That's Bryony, that's Darylene, that's Whitney. So I'm very fortunate to have a fabulous team. And you've met many of the marketing team who report to Cindy, and you've met them all here tonight. We hope you've had fun. We've had a terrific time bringing it to you, and we can't wait to see you at future events here at Young Living. Thank you.